Yes, we can. Okay, so guys, I am recording the session. Just to give you a heads up, you guys, so I sent the link. I have 3 college algebra classes this semester. And so the reason I wanted to do tonight's session through Zoom is because I know we've always done our class sessions on Blackboard, but if I do it through Zoom, if I do it on Blackboard, I can only have, like I can only deal with, say, my Tuesday class that meets in Westago, or I can meet with one of my online classes or the other one, but I can't meet with all of you guys. And if I do it through Zoom, then I can have everybody here in one session. And I think it's just easier this way. So I am recording the session, guys. My version of Zoom is the free version of Zoom. Typically, it'll end like in an hour or something like that. But if we're still working and it closes off, just click on the link again, and we'll be back in business. Okay. So you guys, the whole point of tonight's session is for me to answer any questions that you guys have out of anything at all. From the review. So what I did here was I went to my lab and I printed out the review. And so I have all the questions here. Like I told you guys, I believe there are 41 questions on this review. And then when I made the test, you guys, the test has 20 questions, and those 20 questions come directly from these 41. So the nice thing is that any question you're going to see on your test, it comes from here. There's not going to be a question on the final that wasn't on this part. Prizes. The other thing, guys, and I'm going to pull this up real quick. So let me stop sharing this piece for 1 second. I am going to pull up one other part that I want to share with you guys. Let's see if I can find this. So let me do this real quick. Here we go. Let me do this part here and announcements. Okay, so you guys, I did, and I mean, everybody's announcement kind of looks pretty much the same, but I'm just going to share something with you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. Where am I? Right here. Okay, so the other thing is, I did share with you, I sent y'all an announcement. In this announcement, y'all, I have a formula sheet for the final exam. So I'm going to click on this here, and I don't know if this is actually pulling up the same thing. I think you're looking at this. Can you guys see the formula sheet? If anybody has their mic on, can you just tell me yes? See the
yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Just wanted to make sure. So guys, I have the formula sheet here for you guys. You can use this formula sheet as you need to. The other thing I want to mention, y'all, if you want to go back and reference the formula sheet for test 1 or the formula sheet for test 2, you can use those as well. You can use all of your notes, all that kind of good stuff, okay? So don't feel like you're limited to only this formula sheet. I made one for the final because I think it's kind of more concise. But if there's something that you feel like, hey, you know what, I want to go back and look at the formula sheet for test 1 or for test 2, by all means, you can do that. You can use your notes, all that kind of good stuff, okay? So anywho, let me do this, y'all. Let me stop sharing this part and let me share the review again. And like I said, what I really want us to do tonight is answer any questions you have. So don't be shy, y'all. Whatever questions you want to know, ask me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you guys have, okay? So I'll do it like this, y'all. I'm going to pull up problems. Let's say problems 1 through 5. And what we'll do is we'll kind of go in chunks like this. So if anybody has any questions that you want me to do, if any of these 1 through 5, let me know and we'll definitely do them. Okay, I see something in the chat. Let me double check. 15 and 16. Liz, you know I'm definitely going to get there. I'll definitely. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Anybody have any questions here out of 1 through 5? Are we good so far?
No, I'm good on there.
Okay, I heard something else in the chat. Okay, Kathleen, you're saying, okay, you're good. So guys, let's do this. And again, I know I am going to get to 15 and 16. Anybody have any questions from, say, 6 or 7? We're good here. All righty, so let me see. Let me keep going here, y'all. Let's do it this way. 8, 9, or 10. Anybody got anything out of 8, 9, or 10? All right. Let me keep moving then. What about, let me see. This, you can see, anybody need anything from 11, 12, or 13?
No.
Okay, so then let's see. So Liz, I know you talked about 15 and 16. So let's definitely go through 15 and 16. I want to make sure that we are good with these here. Okay. So 15 says, use the functions or two functions f and g are related by this equation, g of x equals f of x plus 2 minus 3. Use a numerical representation of f to make a numerical representation of g. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, y'all, is, let me see if I can do this part. Here we go. Okay. This. That. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So I'm just going to do a couple of things here, y'all. This is the same review. But I'm going to do a little copy and paste. So let me copy this part here. And I am going to paste that. Oops. Okay, I'm going to paste that right about, maybe right about here. Okay. And then I'm going to come back to my formula sheet because there's something in here that I want us to look at. Here we go. Okay, this part from my formula sheet. Right here. And let me copy this guy. Let me copy this guy right here. And come back to my this business. Okay. So the reason why I'm looking at this, guys, all I did is I just took this from my formula sheet, and this was my original problem right here. So we're going to do this piece or this part in pieces, y'all. So I'm going to look at this part right here. So it tells me that g of x is equal to f of x plus 2 minus 3. So when I look at this plus 2 part, this plus 2 kind of looks like this part right here. So in my case, y'all, what I'm going to do here is this tells me I'm going to be moving to the left 2 spaces. Okay. And then this part over here kind of is reminiscent of this portion. And this tells me that we're going to be moving down 3 spaces. Okay. So now that I know that, now that I know how my table is going to look, I want to think about that. What does that mean to move to the left 2 spaces? To the left 2 spaces means I'm going to take my x values, y'all, and I'm going to subtract 2 from it. And then what does it mean to move down 3 spaces? I'm going to take my y values and I'm going to subtract
3.
3. Okay. So look, we're going to make a new table. Okay. So let's do this in pieces. So remember, we said we're going to take our x values, we're going to subtract 2. So we're going to go minus 2 on each of these numbers. Okay. So we're going to make a new table. So 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 11 minus 2 is 9. Okay, so we got that part then. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to subtract 3 from the y values. So this is going to be my g of x. And we're going to go minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Okay, so let's see. 2 minus 3, also negative 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 3 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3. and 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, so I know that it gave me some information in my particular problem. But what I really want to point out, y'all, is I always make my own table. So I do this because I'm looking at what is this part telling me to do? Well, it's telling me to subtract 2 from my x's and 3 from y. So now that I have this table that we just made, I'm going to come back to, this is number 15, and I'm going to say, okay, look what we have. We have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I want to show you all something. I know I'm kind of zooming out a lot, but I want you to see, look, I got 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. What are the y values? 0,
0, 1,
3,
3, 6.
Very good. So right here, guys, I'm going to just fill those numbers in. 0, 1, 5, 3, and 6. So 0, 1, 5, 3, and 6. And again, this was number 15. So look, I'm going to share one more thing with you guys. Let me come back over here. And this is number 15. Guys, real quickly, can you see the screen that I'm looking at in my lab?
It's halfway cut.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me stop sharing that part there. And let me do this one right here. Okay. So I think this is coming up now. And so this is the same exact problems. And we came up with 0,
1, 1,
1,
5.
0, 1, 5, 3, 6. Yeah.
Yes.
0, 1, 5, 3, and 6.
6.
And we'll check our answer. Oh no, what did I do? I did something.
It's sir, it's on number 5 where
Uh-huh.
it says 5. It should be a what was it?
Oh, this was a 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
3,
Okay, so then this number here should be a, let's see, this should be a 1, shouldn't it? Yes, okay.
3,
Let's
a
take
1.
2. Yeah, let me see. What did I do wrong? Is my
When you subtracted 7, you subtracted it from 2 instead of a 3, so it should be a 4.
yes, yeah, you're right. You're
4
right.
minus 3.
Yeah, because it was 4 minus 3. Yeah, let me fix that.
Mhm.
That was my bad. Okay, so let me come back here. I made a couple little boo-boos. Let me make sure. Okay, so 5 minus 4 gave me, that was a 1, right? So this should really be a 1. 7 minus 3 should be a 4. Wait, am I doing this right? Let me see.
3, 4, yes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4. 4, 3, 4,
Let
5.
me see. So
3.
I'm subtracting 3 from each of these, -1, 0, 1.
0, 1, 4, 3, 6.
Yeah. 0, 1, 4.
4, 3, 6.
Okay, yes, okay, so I think that was the only one I needed to fix. So I'm sorry, my bad. Let me come back. Let me share this thing one more time. Okay. So was this
4.
this was 4?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, my bad.
Got it.
Okay, so now we got it. So,
Yes, got it.
okay, good, excellent. So look, y'all, let me stop sharing this part and then let's go back to my problem, my notes, and we'll take a look at number 16. So again, I'm going to do 16 the same way. So the first thing I want y'all to notice here, y'all, in 16 is I'm going to look at this part right here, right? And when I look at this piece, x plus 1, so I come back over here and it's on the inside. It's x plus 1. That means, again, in my case, I'm going to move to the left 1 spot, right? So this is telling me, hey, I'm going to move to the left 1 space. And so what that means is I'm going to subtract 1, again, from my x values, right? So I'm going to have a new table. It's going to look like this. And we are subtracting 1 from each of those numbers. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. 5 minus 1 is 4. And 6 minus 1 is 5. And nothing else was changing, y'all. So my y values stay exactly the same. And so again, I make my own table, right? Because I know we can figure out what it is we're trying to do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my table and I'm going to look at my choices A, B, C, and D. And I'm going to say, hey, this really looks like choice D, doesn't it? And so now what
Yes.
I'm going to stop sharing this part one more time. I'm going to share my other screen with you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. Here we go. And let me pull this one up. And we were looking at 16. And we said our choice was D. And we'll check our answer. And hey, we got that one too, right?
Okay.
Good, good, good. So these are great questions. I'm glad you guys are asking them. Let me stop sharing this. And then let me come back and share my notes again where I have all the problems. Okay. So we got 15 and 16. What do you guys think? 17, 18, you guys are okay?
Yes.
19, are we good? Any other questions you guys need from me, y'all? Because you know I'm happy to help.
Mm,
Okay, I heard something in the chat here. Let me double check. Juan, number 20, definitely one. Let's take a look at number 20. So let's go through this problem here together and we will figure this thing out. Okay, so number 20 says, use the graph to evaluate the following expressions. And so again, we're going to do this in pieces, okay? So the first part is asking us, can we find f composed with g of 1? So I'm going to kind of show you what this is asking me to do. When we're trying to find f composed with g of 1, that's how I read this part. The way I'm going to do that one is I'm going to go f of g of 1, okay? And what I really need to do here, I need to first find g of 1. So I want you to notice that g is the red graph, okay, the line. So the way I find g of 1, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. So right here, Juan, this is when x is equal to 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up until I hit the red line. 1, 2, 3, right here. We hit this value at 3. So now this is telling me, since we know that g of 1 is equal to 3, now what we're trying to do is we're trying to find f of 3. So remember, f is the blue one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along my x-axis until x is equal to 3. 1, 2, 3. And I want you to notice we're already hitting the blue graph right there. And since we didn't have to go up and we didn't have to go down, that number is going to be 0. Okay. So for part A, y'all, our answer is going to be 0. Okay. And we're going to come back and we're going to do the same thing for parts B and for part C. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to erase some of this mess so I can do it again. And let's see if we can figure it out. The next part says G composed with F of 2. So let me write this part out. It says G composed with F of the number 2. So the way I do this is, since this one is on the outside, it's going to stay there. And the first thing we're going to try to find is, what's F of 2? Okay, so what does that mean? It means I'm going to come along to the x-axis. Here's x equals 2. I want to hit the F graph, which is the blue one. So we have to move down. We only have to move down one spot, so it's a negative one. Okay. Now we want to find g of negative 1. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the x-axis where x is equal to -1, and we want to hit the red line. So in order for us to hit the red line, we have to move up one spot. So this answer is going to be a positive 1. Okay. So for part B, y'all, we got a positive 1. All right, and we're going to do the same thing all over again. So I'm going to clean up some of this mess. And I'm going to come back and we're going to take a look at part C, which is G composed with G of 0. Okay, so let's figure out how we're going to do that part. So G composed with G of 0. Okay, remember, this is one on the outside, so it stays there. This is inside, so it comes next. G of 0. Okay, how do we find G of 0? We come to the x-axis where x is equal to 0, and we want to hit the G graph. So we got to move up 1, 2. So now we're finding G of 2. So how do we find g of 2? We come back to the x-axis when x is equal to 2, and we want to hit our red graph. So how many spaces up? 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
There we go. So my answer for part C is 4. Okay. Look at the numbers we came up with, y'all. We came up with 0, we came up with 1, and we came up with 4. Guys, before I go on to check, I'm going to check my answer in a minute. Are we okay how we came up with those numbers? Does anybody have any questions on how we got the 0, the 1, and the 4?
No.
Good. Okay, so look, let me stop sharing this part and let me share my other screen. Right here. Yes, this piece right here. Let me share this one. Okay, and we're looking at question number 20. And the numbers we came up with were 0, 1, and 4. So 0, let's check it. Okay, we're doing good. 1, let's check it. Bueno. And 4. Yes, like Napoleon Dynamite. So we got them all right, okay? So excellent question. I'm glad you asked this one. I think this is a great question because and I can't, there's not really a formula for doing a problem like number 20. It's more like, do I really understand the idea of how to compose two functions? And what does it mean graphically when we're evaluating a function? We're looking for the y value at a particular x value. So great question there. Let me come back to my notes. Here we go. Okay. So that was number 20. Good question. Anybody have any questions from 21 or 22 or anything like that? Good so far. Let me keep moving along here. Anybody need anything from 23, 24, 25, 26? Anybody need anything 27 or 28? Okay, I got something in the chat here. Let me double check. No, sir. Okay, we're good so far. Just checking, you guys. 29 or 30. Anybody need either 29 or 30?
No.
29, yes. Anna, let's definitely do number 29. And 30, Kathleen, definitely. We can definitely do both of those. Okay, so let's take a look at 29. Okay, so 29 says, use f of x to complete the table for the inverse. Okay, so this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out the inverse here. So remember, y'all, this here is my function f of x. And when we're trying to find out the inverse, say like with -3, that means that what number would we have to have plugged in here so that my answer would have been -3? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part of the function, the x plus 4, and we're going to just set that equal to -3. And so when I subtract 4 on both sides, what I'm coming up with is x is -7. So this number right here, y'all, is going to be -7. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go x plus 4 equals the next number, 0. So I'm going to go -4 and -4. And we're coming up with a -4. So that's going to be my number right here. And then we're going to do the same thing again. X plus 4 is equal to 3. Okay. And I'm going to go -4 and -4. And x is equal to, let's see, 3 minus 4 is a -1. So that number is going to be a -1. And then on my last part, I'm gonna go x plus 4 equals 6. I'm gonna go -4 and -4. And I'm coming up with x is equal to 2. Okay. So we come up with -7, -4, -1, and +2. So this is number 29. So look, let me share my screen with you guys so you can see what I'm looking at. Let me see. Come back over here. And this we said was number 29. And okay, so we got -7 for the first one. Okay. We had a -4 for the second one. Fantastic. Let's see, we had a -1 for the third one. And we had a +2 for the last one. And we got it. Okay. And then, Kathleen, I know you had number 30. So let's go to number 30. So let me stop sharing this part. Come back to my notes again real quick. Here we go. Share this here with you guys. Okay. So number 30 says the exponential growth of the deer population in the country can be calculated using this model. Okay, so what's really important here, y'all, is when I look at the equation, it tells me that that number 80,000 was our initial deer population, and the 0.08 was our rate of growth. Okay, so for part A, it says, can we find the population after 3 years? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, look, T equals 80,000, 1 plus 0.08, and the N is the number of years. And in this case, we're looking at 3 years. So I'm going to put this as a 3. Now, y'all, I don't know. I'm going to pull my calculator up. Okay, so guys, I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but it says the meeting's going to end in 10 minutes. If it does, again, just click on the link that I sent you guys, and we'll be back in business. Okay. But anyway, what I want to mention is I'm going to pull up my calculator. Can you guys see my calculator on the screen? Is there a calculator coming up for you guys?
No.
No.
Okay, then I'll share it with you guys right now. But I want you to notice something. What I'm going to do, this piece right here, y'all, I'm going to enter this in on my calculator exactly as I see it. So let me do this real quick. Let me share my calculator with you guys. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I think this part is coming out now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 80,000. Okay, there it is. Times, because it's, there's parentheses. So I'm going to put parentheses. 1 plus 0.08. Close my parentheses. And in this case, we're raising it to the third power. And so the number I'm coming up with, is 100,776.96. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to come back and share my screen. And the number that we got was 100,776.96. 76.96. Okay. Now it is asking me to round to the nearest 1,000. So what that means is we're going to ask ourselves: is 100,776? Is that number closer to 100,000, or is it closer to 101,000? And we should say that number is really closer to 101,000, right? Okay. So look, here's my answer for part A. All right. Now let's do part B. Part B says, look, if the initial population was 10,000, so that means that I'm going to now have, instead of 80, because 80 was my initial, now my new initial is 10,000. 1 plus, my growth rate is 0.14. Remember over here, y'all, the growth rate was 0.08. So instead of me writing a 0.08, I'm now going to write a 0.14. And it's asking me how many deer are we going to have in 4 years? So that's going to be my equation. Okay. So y'all, just like I did before, I'm going to type this piece in my calculator exactly like the way I'm showing you. So let me stop sharing that. Let me pull up my calculator right here. And let's see. So I'm going to enter in 10,000. Okay. times, and then parentheses, 1 plus 0.14, plus 0.14. I'm gonna close off my parentheses. I'm raising this to the power of 4. Okay, and I'm coming up with 16,889. And so I'm just gonna write that number down, 16,889. Let me share back my other screen with you guys so you can see what I'm doing. 16,889. Again, we're asked to round to the nearest thousand. So we're gonna say, is this number closer to 16 or 17,000? Well, we really should say,
17.
yeah, 17,000, right? Okay, now there is a part C, so let's do part C. How many additional deer can we expect in 2 years if the initial population is 45,000? Okay, so I'm going to write a new problem, 45,000, and our growth rate is 0.05. So 1 plus 0.05, and it's asking me in 2 years. Okay, so just like we did before, y'all, this is a part that I'm going to enter in on my calculator. So let me stop sharing that business and let me come back to my calculator right here. Let me share this part with you guys. So we have 45,000 times parentheses 1 plus 105. And we're raising that to the power of 2. Okay, so the number that I'm coming up with here, y'all, is 49,612. So 49,612. I know I could put 13. We'll write it as 13. 49613. Okay. So let's come back here. And we said our answer was 49,613. Okay, so again, if I were to round this to the nearest thousand, wouldn't that be 50,000, right? But the question is saying how many additional deer. So look how many deer we started off with. We started off with 45. Now we have 50,000 deer. Doesn't that mean that we really added 5,000 more deer? That's how many additional we got. So you just have to be a little careful with the way they worded part C. But I want y'all to notice something, y'all. We have 101, 17, and 5,000, right? So again, let me stop sharing this part right here. Let me share this part here with the problems. Okay, so we came up with 101,000. The first one. We came up with 17,000 for this one. You don't have to put the comma, guys. It's not really important. And then the last one, we came up with 5,000. So look, no comma. That's our answer. And yep, we got it. Okay, so let me stop sharing this part here. And then let me come back to my notes. Oh, here we go. Okay, good questions. So anybody have any questions? 31, 32, 33, anything here, y'all? Don't want me to look at? So guys, we got it. It's telling me right now that we got about 3 minutes. So I want to mention this just in case some of you guys don't log back in. The final, you guys, is going to be ready by noon tomorrow. I'm going to send you guys a message on final. I'll send you a message to the Blackboard and let you know, hey, the final is going to be ready tomorrow by 12. It's due next Friday. Next Thursday by 7 p.m. I know our deadlines were normally midnight. It has to be 7 p.m., guys, because I have to get all the grades together, okay? So the final will be open tomorrow by 12. It's due next Thursday by 7 p.m. Those of you who are enrolled in my Math 1414 co-requisite course, so you were enrolled in 2 classes. We had college algebra and we had that MATL 0014 lab. There is a final over there too, guys. It's already ready for you guys. You can take it whenever you want. Also due by Thursday. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, you guys have been in all 3 classes. Y'all been great groups. If you guys ever need a letter of recommendation, don't hesitate to ask. Guys, I'm happy to write a letter of recommendation for any of you guys. So if you need one to get into a program, if you need one for a job, anything like that, don't hesitate. You guys have my contact info and every single announcement that I sent you guys in Blackboard. My email address is there and my Google number is there as well, okay? So next semester, you decide you're gonna apply for a certain program or you're applying for a job. They say you need a letter of recommendation. If you want one from me, email me, call me on my Google number. Sir, can I get a letter of recommendation? I'll have it for you guys, okay? So I just wanted to mention that in case we run out of time. Okay, so let me come back over here. Anybody need any help with, say, let me do it like this. 34, 35, 36, any of these? We good with these? Okay, and then what about 37? Oops, I heard something here in the chat. 35, yes, definitely, Paolo, we can do 35. Okay, so guys, our session, it's gonna close up right now. So I'm gonna hold off, and then when it logs us out, guys, just click on the link again, and we'll be right back where we started, okay? So everybody should be able to get back in. I just wanna let you know it is gonna close it off, but we'll do 35, Paolo. Let's just wait till this thing logs us out, and then again, click on the link, we'll be back in business.